Hi, everyone. My name is Mac. Welcome back to the Links Radio podcast. We're here with Standing Start, and we're very excited to have him here in the studio today. So we're just going to dive right in. I first kind of wanted to start with introductions. So if you each want to go around and tell us your name and what instrument you play in the band and about your experience as a musician.
Yeah, I guess I can start. I'm kind of in front. My name is Piper. I play bass in the band. I also do some harmony vocals. Where I'm from was also in there. All right, I'll throw it in there. I grew up in California. And then I moved here from New Orleans about 5 years ago. And yeah, I'm actually like a pretty new to playing bass, new to like playing in a band. So this is my first band I played in. I learned bass a couple years ago because Anna's partner lent me a bass, and then we all had plans to play, I think, like a Pixie song on New Year's Day. That was like our big plan. We had a sleepover. And then, yeah, kind of just like played with some friends, and then we all kind of like came back together. And yeah, this is my only project right now, but definitely have been really enjoying it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm Anna. I sing and play rhythm guitar in Standing Start. I started songwriting in 2020 and was kind of just doing my own thing and playing with a different band, and then started playing with Standing Start around like exactly a year ago, actually. Yeah. So yeah, we've been together for about a year now. It's been really great. I'm from Wisconsin. Yeah, it's been a really positive experience, and I'm really excited about how far we've come.
Oh yeah. My name's Michael. I play lead guitar, a little bit of vocals here and there. I'm from Michigan originally. My background as a musician, I played guitar for a long time, like since I was like 10 or so. Lots of bedroom noodling, and even some of the songs that we play are like riffs that I've had that are 10, 15 years old or whatever. So it's really fun to see all of that come together. And I agree with Anna. It's been a fun ride.
Yeah, I agree with that. I guess now would not be a great time to say that I didn't agree with that. Yeah, I'm Jake. I play the drums in Standing Start. I'm from England originally. I've lived in the US for 11 years. I lived in Denver longer than any of these people. And yeah, my background as a musician, started playing drums when I was like, I don't know, like 13, 14. But didn't really play for a long time between college and about a year or two ago. I think a lot of people who were like long-time musicians who've recently gotten back into it, it was like a pandemic thing, and that wasn't really the case for me. Piper and I were both working from home, living in a pretty small apartment. I think they would have murdered me if I had gotten back into drums at that particular moment. In fact, there were one or two times I did try to play where we got close to that. So I kind of picked it up. Yeah, kind of when Piper picked it back up, like when Piper started playing bass, since we could like play together, and yeah, then one thing led to another, and here we are.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, thank y'all for sharing. Yeah. So just out of curiosity, how did y'all hear about this podcast?
I think we got an Instagram DM from y'all, and then y'all also came out to one of our shows at Globe Hall this summer. We played with a really cool band who actually was their farewell show, unfortunately. So
what was it?
Waiting Room?
I was at that show.
No way! That's
what?
So funny.
Yeah. Sorry, that's such a crazy.
Yeah, we opened.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Great. Yeah,
wow.
And Baby too.
Yeah, was also there.
Wow. Okay, that's so
Small
weird.
world. Yeah. Yeah, and I connected with, I think, Natalie. And we've been trying to set this up for a minute. And so it's been cool to finally connect with y'all.
Yeah, we're glad to have you. Yeah, really cool. That's such a weird coincidence.
Sorry,
that's so funny.
I mean, moments like that, you realize Denver is not that big.
No, it's a pretty small like scene, which is really cool, honestly, just because everyone gets to know each other, and it's a cool community for sure. So switching gears, could y'all describe for our listeners Standing Start's sound and how you kind of got to that point?
Yeah, I'll give that one a crack. I mean, at the root of it, like, it's alternative music. I think there are times where we try to kind of straddle like a fun country, like old folk line. But it's primarily, what did Mike say about us? We're Dream Jangle or something like that.
Yeah, this guy we played a show with last time.
Jangle Dream Rock.
Yeah, Jangle Dream Rock.
Nice. New genre unlocked.
Yeah, like chorusy guitars, and there's a good balance between like not going over the top and like trying to sound like a Mac DeMarco ripoff band or something like that, which might be the direction if I was solely in charge. Yeah, it's, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I would say like with definitely more like country themes going on with the slide guitar, but not like fully in that direction. Like I think there are also bits of like I definitely get the dreamy vibe with like we have more like reverb going on with the guitars, but also like with my guitar I like to have kind of more of a gritty, heavy sound and like to tap more into like my inner emo kid at times. So yeah, it's a lot of things. I feel like we've been struggling to kind of figure out what like one word for it would be.
Yes, exactly. The grit and like the dirt on your guitar like counteracts mine in a really good way sometimes, like especially on I'd Rather Get High. So yeah, it's a good balance.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
I usually just say indie folk rock.
Yeah, that's fine. So what are your musical influences, like each of you individually, and how does that contribute to what Standing Start sounds like?
That's a great question. Anna is really great at making us like contribute to different like Spotify playlists. And so I think one of the first things we did when we started was we just added a bunch of like songs from artists that like resonated with us. So I think like for me, a couple would be, this Australian band called Camp Cope. I really love their bassist and she's like a big reason why I started playing the bass. I'd also say like Big Thief and kind of like the big like indie giants. I think we all have our own kind of like indie like canon that we pull from. But yeah, I would also say bands like Priests and Waxahachie and Wednesday would be kind of like personal like inspirations for this project. And I'm sure we have some crossover, but I also do feel like we have these ones that are kind of like in our own corner squarely.
Yeah, I like a lot of like folk Americana songwriters. I like Jane Welch a lot, Joni Mitchell. I listen to a lot of Radiohead, like them a lot. As a teen, I listened to Bright Eyes a lot too. I really liked their ability to like combine folk and rock together. Just like a very interesting perspective also from Conor Oberst's writing. Just like very deep. Yeah, very captivating. Yeah, I would say like collectively as a band, we all really like Big Thief, I would say. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it all starts with like rock and roll or like dad rock, I guess. Like The Who specifically.
The band dad.
Yeah, I'm the band dad. The Who was like really critical for me to like want to pick up a guitar or to like think like, wow, there's an acoustic guitar and an electric guitar on this song. There's only one guitar player in the band. How are they doing that? Like Mark Knopfler and Dire Straits as well. But like that probably doesn't come out in like influences in the way that we play. I really like Alex G, Japanese Breakfast, Mac DeMarco for sure. Always is a huge influence of mine right now. Yeah, so I think like that's kind of where we all cross.
Yeah, I would echo a lot of these. Definitely, I love Big Thief. We all went to Big Thief together at Red Rocks earlier this summer, which was really fun. I probably my number one favorite artist is Laura Stevenson, which I feel like is in a similar kind of vein. And then like I don't know, drumming. I have a lot of different drumming influences. Maybe like one of the like really original ones for me was like Led Zeppelin, John Bonham. Not that I play like that in Standing Start, and not that I could play like that in general, but just like that's definitely an inspiration for me.
Yes, very good. Awesome. I love a band activity. Where you all go to some bands. They're like, yeah, we're bandmates, and then that's it. So very. It seems like you're all pretty close outside of like band stuff, which rocks.
You know, there were other people there.
Well, speaking of that, you kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but when and how did you all meet, and kind of how did the band form?
It's a great it's a great story. Shout out to my partner Julia, who in some ways was a big confluence. I'll try to give the abridged version of the story. It was basically just like a party on a Friday night at Jake and Piper's place. That like through the grapevine, my partner and I got invited to, even though we didn't really know them. It was like a friend of a friend thing. And like I notoriously was like pretty grouchy and I did not want to go to said party. And Anna was there too. And yeah, we went, had a good time. One thing led to another. I took the aux cord over. And then, yeah, it's just been pretty constant ever since then. Piper, Jake, and I started playing, like jamming regularly, and like had thoughts of doing like a house show or something like that. And then I think like, didn't we like ask you if you wanted to play at like a original house show for us? And then you were like, well,
Probably,
Yeah, originally it was like, you were gonna play like separately.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I was in a different band when I lived in Longmont before I moved to Denver. And I guess like we were still trying to like do the long distance band thing, which was not working out so well. It was fun. It was definitely more like punk. It was like more silly, I guess. And I was also doing just like solo stuff, and yeah, I guess I didn't really know you at the time, so I was like, oh yeah, it depends on like, what you're trying to. But yeah,
I don't play hard to get. It's like it's what happened.
Yeah, so like you guys all were like jamming before, like
yeah,
For
we
like
saw
a
a month or two or something like that. Maybe
It was a little longer. I think it was like, so we went on a little like camping trip together.
It's Memorial Day.
Of
2022.
Yeah, and then we jammed for the first time probably a week or two after that.
Okay.
And then Anna started jamming after Labor Day. So yeah, so like a year ago.
I think like Michael was like sending Anna like recordings of our like
Unbeknownst to us,
practice
yeah.
sessions. At one point, he was like doing the legwork, and then
Just,
we
like,
yeah,
being a
it's
little
true,
shifty,
yeah.
got Anna to do that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool story. Yeah. How did you come upon Standing Start?
Yeah, Standing Start was a name that I had given to just some of like my solo recordings that I just put together in Logic, like just recording my guitar part and like putting together like bass and drums from like a sequencer in Logic. So that was I just gave it that name. I don't particularly remember how I came up with the name. And then when we started playing, I wasn't even sure that it was like going to be Standing Start. And then Jake and Piper just like readily accepted that.
So that's fine.
Yeah, we never looked back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also an alliteration. Who doesn't love a good alliteration?
Exactly.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
it sticks.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's catchy. Rolls off the tongue.
Thank you.
So what is the songwriting process like for you all? And how does everyone kind of contribute to that?
Well, like what Michael said earlier, like a lot of our songs were stuff that we had, like he and I had already written, cause we had been doing like solo stuff before and just like putting stuff up on like Bandcamp and SoundCloud, whatever, and like using Logic to like add drums and bass. Yeah, and then we just kind of went from there, like with a lot of songs that we had already written. We call them frozen meal songs.
Right, they're ready to go. Just stick them
I
in the
like that.
microwave.
Yeah.
Nice.
But now we're at a point where like we need to write new stuff. So we've written like some new stuff together as a band, which is fun. Like Piper and Jake have contributed to some lyrics, and yeah.
And like, I think one thing that Jake does really well when you've been playing a riff for, many, many years or whatever it is, you have it in your head, like just how it sounds, and maybe it's not like fully counted out or, ready for other people to consume and play off of. So Jake has done a really good job of like, asking me the tough questions of like, instead of just being like, oh no, and then we do that thing again. It's like, that's like 8 bars and then an additional 2 or whatever it is.
Fighting the good fight for drummers everywhere.
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah.
And I also appreciate how Piper like forces me to like slow down sometimes. Like they mentioned that they're like still like a relatively new musician, and like it doesn't show like when we're playing or anything like that, but like I need to slow down and think like, what do I want out of a bass part, or what am I doing with my guitar part that could be complemented by something else? And then just like forcing myself to slow down and think that way has been really good for me.
Yeah, and we generally kind of will work. We practice about like once a week, and so a lot of times, we'll kind of like work on things as a band, but also we try to like pair off as well. And I think we all find that like kind of working on just like bass and drums, or just bass and lead, or just bass and rhythm, like sometimes that can be helpful to kind of break things up, because it can be sometimes like quite chaotic when you're just throwing stuff at the wall. So yeah, I think we have a process that we were working on, but it's definitely, I feel like in the next couple of years, like going to be what we focus on. I think it's been really great to have some songs that are just like there that we've been able to kind of like learn and refine together. But yeah, I think we're all very interested in how like songs we write together like change. And the couple that we have even just like kind of developed together have I think a pretty like interesting feel that is a little different than kind of our other songs that we've worked on from like Anna or Michael's kind of bookshelf.
So you have a couple songs released on Spotify and Bandcamp. It's Colors, and I don't know how to pronounce the other one.
Yeah.
Good.
How do you say
the
it?
other ones? It's I'd Rather Get High is like the name of the song. And it's just,
okay.
Like, an acronym to it.
That makes so much more sense. I was like, what is
Yeah.
that? Erg. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have, those are just like really rough demos where we rented a rehearsal space at like 8 o'clock in the morning.
Nice.
Like, so like
On
on a Monday, right?
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
to prevent like a metal band next door from like bleeding into our, and we just put like one microphone up in the middle of the room.
Oh, just a room mic.
Like it sounded
It's a great recording for a room mic.
Yeah, thank you. We were very pleased with it at the time, but we've been working really hard to record Colors like more properly, and we're very, very, very close.
Awesome. That's exciting. Are you recording it like at a studio, or are you doing it yourselves?
We're doing it ourselves.
Nice.
Michael was really taken on recording as like a project this summer, and
Awesome.
so like he has really learned a ton and like helped us learn a ton.
He uses a lot of words I don't understand.
Yeah, we're always learning new things. But yeah, it's been, I think like it was definitely a decision that we were trying to make, if we should try to go like the route of trying to get a couple songs professionally recorded, or if we wanted to try to learn how to do it ourselves. And I think it's been really helpful for us as a band to like work on our communication around like what we want and what we like envision for the songs. And I think that that's been like a learning process, but I'm really grateful that we did take that route. And I think we have a lot of friends who've asked for help, and like, but a lot of it I think is with Michael like really diving into the research. So I'm very grateful for him.
Yeah.
And Dad.
Yeah.
Lots of lessons learned on the first one. But yeah, we're really excited. We've done like some loose tracking for other songs. Starting with the drums and all that fun stuff. So yeah, it's this like balance of like, we're just doing this for fun, and like we're not beholden to anybody for any of this, so we can take our time. That's on the one hand, but then on the other hand, I'm like the opportunity cost of us not having music out every week, could be a gig that we don't
Right.
know we could get.
Mm-hmm.
But all that being said, it's been a really good process for us to learn, and like you said, learn how to communicate with each other well around all of that. And I think we're still shooting for the 29th of this month, Friday.
Oh, all right.
You heard it here first.
Yes, you sure did. That's so exciting. So will that be a release, like a re-release, I guess, of Colors?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Very cool. Which is a beautiful song, by the way. And I wanted to ask, if you don't mind sharing what it's about.
Yeah, so I wrote Colors in 2020. I was kind of just in a stressful relationship at the time, and I also grew up really religious, so it was kind of about just like breaking free of someone else's idea of me and like living up to someone else's expectation. Yeah, and that was actually the first song I like wrote with the intention of playing with a band. So it's been cool to see it come to life, and to have it be something we're recording right now is really special.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. That's very cool. Did you have any, like, I know some bands will have a couple songs and they're like, which one should be the single and all that. Did you have that debate at all, or was it always like, no, Color should be the one?
It was kind of like that. Yeah. Like, I remember like the first take that we recorded just like in the room, like the first time like we all played that song like properly together, and it was just like, wow, this is really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think since then, like that's been our fun runner.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like we have a conversation brewing about what comes next.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like Colors. Like Piper and I had seen Anna play Colors once or maybe twice. Before,
in a different band.
Yeah, like
Oh, gotcha.
both on their own and with another band, and it had always been like a personal favorite of mine. Like Anna's songs, so yeah.
It's always something really special, and I feel like happens with most musicians, especially when you're playing in a group and you're like, "Whoa, we have something here!" Like it's really cool. It's such an awesome feeling.
Yeah.
Love that. Yeah. So, kind of going back to your recording process, it sounds like y'all didn't really have very much like experience in audio production, and then you just decided to like jump right in, right? Or like kind of learn, or
you can say that. Well, like Anna and I both have like decent experience in Logic, like recording ourselves and like doing other things in there. But like
when it comes to like recording, mixing, mastering kind of thing.
Yeah, as far as like what EQ should I put on the bass, and what kind, like how much compression should I really put on there?
Mm-hmm.
That's just been like trusting my ears and just making sure it doesn't clip.
Yeah, so true. Wow, that's really cool. It sounds like, I mean, I don't have a ton of experience in that, like literally the basics, but that's very an admirable thing to take on. That's a big project.
Yeah, I think like part of it is I want to be able to say that we did it ourselves, for sure.
Yeah.
But like we've also had like a target, like as a band, we're like, we want it to sound like this song, we don't want it to sound like this. And like I think there was a period where I was a little bit manic on it. I was like sending mix downs for them to listen to like every day, and like, that's not a productive way to do that. But yeah, it's just one of those things that like I remember thinking to myself, like, what other way could I be spending my time? Like, there's nothing I want to do more than this. So.
Right. That's awesome. Very cool. So what kind of led to the decision about making or releasing Colors and I'd Rather Get High, right?
Yeah.
Okay. As live demos rather than recording and then putting it out? Did you just want to have something out there, like for gigs and things like that?
Yeah, I think we were kind of at the place where we wanted to be able to send something that like wasn't in the Google Drive file.
That's so fair.
Yeah. And there was like a couple things that we were applying for that we needed, like a Spotify. And so I think it was kind of something that we, thought like we wanted to kind of get out the door and then come back to. And yeah, I think one thing that's like been good about doing it ourselves is that we've been able to kind of work like on our own timeline with it. And yeah, I think it's like first one's the hardest. So I think that now once we have this under our belt, we've learned like so much. And I think like as we start to think about like an EP or something like that, we have a lot more kind of like just like knowledge to make the decisions we need to make.
For sure.
But yeah, that's the kind of long and short of it. We kind of had like a deadline that we wanted to meet, and so we were like, gotcha, throw them up there. Yeah,
That makes sense. Yeah, because I was curious because I was like, oh, live, like, wow, that's so interesting. So
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool though. It's nice to just have stuff out there to get going.
yeah.
Do you think it's cooler now that you know it was live 8 a.m. on a Monday morning?
I think it makes it even cooler. I do. Yes. Where did you record it?
That was at Rocket Space. in
Oh,
Rhino.
Rocket Space. I
Yeah.
was just there yesterday. I will be
Nice.
there again tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, they're great over there, but that's tough to record there for sure.
Yeah.
8 a.m. Monday morning's pretty chill.
Yeah.
Noted. Noted. Cool. So can you tell me a bit more about the other originals that you have?
For sure.
Yeah. I guess the first song we all wrote together as a band is Behind My Eyes. And that one's a mix of like, well, it's your riff, and then I added most of the lyrics, and then there's a spoken word part that Piper wrote. Yeah, it's a fun one.
Yeah, it's a fun one. That's another one that's like a little towards the country folk spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
So that one's really cool. But like the chorus is like
Rocky.
the chorus is rocky,
Yeah.
and it swings a little bit. And yeah, the spoken word part is really fun. Like, it's just like you never realize like what kind of stuff you can do to like shake up a song or give it like some personality. Especially when it's just like a riff that I've been playing for a really long time. And so I always say when we're playing shows that that's the first song we all wrote together. So yeah, that one's really fun. That one might be my favorite one to play, and Anna's guitar solo in it is great.
Yeah. That's definitely my favorite part of this one. The guitar solo. How long did you have that riff though? Like when did you start playing that riff?
I think that was like a college riff. So like pre 2015.
Wow.
We have
Love
like a good mix. We played like our first kind of set last night that was something we tried to curate to make a little like softer, just with the bands we were playing with. But we definitely have, I think especially at this point, like a range of songs that like really kind of like play with all of our different influences. Like we have a song that's quite like grungy called Lost Cause, and then we have like some very like delicate, like really beautiful songs that Anna's written. I think one thing that's like quite special about the songs that Anna's written and we play together is a lot of time Michael plays slide guitar, and so that just has like a really interesting feel and like really beautiful feel to I think Anna's songs. And so we have like a good mix of like those kind of more emotional songs and a little bit more like rocky songs. But yeah, I think the ones we've written together do have that more of like a little bit of twanginess, a little bit of like etherealness, and then
people seem to really like I'd Rather Get High, which is another super old one from the bank. But it was fun because like I was challenged to put lyrics to this song. While it was still like the three of us for the most part.
Yeah,
that was like one of the first things we started playing together.
Yeah, and that one is just kind of like, well, the chorus is kind of tells you what you need to know, but it's just like it's really easy to complain about what you don't have and like where your life is. But like if someone was able to just like give you what you want, like would you even accept that? Like would you let yourself have that? So that one is important to me, I think. Yeah. People are digging Confessions too, which is a song that Anna wrote. That one rocks pretty hard.
That's one of my favorite ones to play, definitely. I mean, I think that's like a novelty factor when it's like the most recent thing you started playing. Like that's the most recent thing we've like finished together. There's always like multiple things that are kind of in various stages of disrepair, but like that's my favorite one right now.
Nice.
Why is that one your favorite one?
I don't know. I like it's on like the punkier side, which maybe is like more where some of my influences come from, and there's maybe more room to like play with the drums in that kind of setting. And maybe part of it too is like coming to the writing process and the process of figuring out the drum part with like a little bit more like self-confidence, and feeling like I can add more flourishes in, than maybe I did in like some of the songs we originally started playing.
Yeah, which is like I feel like puts you in a position, Jake, where like you have like a real credit on the songwriting process, you know, like which has been fun to see you go into that.
Nice.
Oh,
So-
he's never this nice.
It's because it's mic'd up, right?
Yeah.
So you mentioned your favorite song was to play. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the name. Did you say it was I'd Rather Get High?
I think you just said it was Behind My Eyes.
Or no,
I think
Behind
you
My
can
Eyes.
change your mind.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, I think it's Behind My Eyes.
Yeah.
I have a soft spot for Smile,
Uh-huh.
which is one of those like somber songs that Anna had written a long time ago. That was the first song of theirs that like I really sunk my teeth into. And like the slide part like just kind of came out of me. And that one has like quite a build to it. That's really fun to play. And then there's another one that could be my favorite called Better.
They're all your favorites.
It's like you can't ask
Yeah.
us to choose
It
between
is.
our children.
Yes, exactly.
I
So true.
I think if I had to say one, I'd probably say Behind My Eyes. That's a fun one to play. I like that riff a lot.
Anna, what about you? What's your favorite one?
Probably Confessions. Yeah, like Jake was saying, it's a little more heavy. It's faster, and it also just feels more relevant to my life right now, just because I wrote it last spring. So it's just it's exciting to I don't know, introduce new music and have something new to share with people. I always like doing
I really like Better. That's a fun song to play on the bass. Has like a fun groove. It was like a fun challenge to do the harmonies on that. It took me a very long time to be able to play and sing. And I also really do like Confessions. I think that is my kind of like one that I would be pulling for to record next. I think the bass line really, Anna plays in drop D, and then I follow on the bass, and I think that the harmony between like our instruments is really cool, and I think I really like the riff as well. So yeah, that one's fun. We've kind of been ending our sets with that more recently, and that feels like a good, and I think like where you, and I think where you put it kind of communicates to people like how you feel about it, and so it's like I feel like a lot of people have like a positive reaction to that. I think,
Are these all respectively your favorite ones to play live as well? Or are they?
I think so for me. Yeah.
I guess there is a difference between like what I like to play in practice versus what I like to play live. I mean, I think the slide songs are really fun for me to play live. It's a unique thing, and it just feels special to me when I get to do it in front of people.
What are your favorite parts about performing live?
Great question. I mean, the easy thing is just like, we've been lucky to have so many friends of the band who just continue to show out for us. And that's felt really good. And I don't think I told any of you this, last night, breaking news, like the very first for us, for me at least, I was standing to get a drink at the bar, and this lady that I didn't know, and I don't think like she knew us or any of the bands at all. It's like, you guys were so great. It's my husband and my 7th-year anniversary. I planned a whole night for us. And we just happened to be here for your show. And I was like, wow, hey, we contributed to someone's evening.
Their anniversary.
Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
like, I think like being able to sum it up, probably like the community interaction that's involved with it.
Yeah, I would say that as well. And like, just the people who help us out. And yeah, I feel like our partners are also very involved and like very helpful. Just meeting other bands also.
That has been super fun.
It's really fun, yeah.
Everybody's been really nice to us for those parts. So.
Yeah.
It's funny,
Yeah.
it's funny, my partner Spencer yesterday was like helping unload stuff and like told one of the band members from one of the other bands that played last night, he's like, good job. And they're like, oh, you too. I was like, wait, what?
Love that. Yeah. Over Jake, what are your favorite parts of performing live?
Definitely would echo all of this. It's been really incredible to like have the support from our friends and like play with some really amazing bands. I really enjoyed just like being up there and doing it. And I often hear like after shows like, oh, you look like you were having such a good time. And that's great. That's like exactly what I want to hear because, kind of to what Michael was saying a little bit earlier, like we are choosing to do this, like we should be enjoying this.
Right.
And I think with the first couple of shows we played, like I was just kind of like getting through it, and then afterwards I was like, was that fun? Like, is what I'm feeling right now like that I enjoyed it, or just that I'm no longer like feeling like highly anxious? And actually like having a little bit more experience and playing a few more shows, it's like you kind of can give yourself a moment to be like, oh no, I'm having a great time like right now. And I feel like that's reflected too, not just in like people saying like I personally look like I'm having fun, but also like people saying like we look like we're all having fun together on stage and we're joking around. And you know, when I'm allowed a microphone, I'm joking around.
That's awesome.
Nice. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I would say the same things as everyone else said. I think also as like a newer musician, it's been like really rewarding just to like connect with other people and learn from them. And yeah, like moving from New Orleans where there's such like a strong kind of music culture. It was really great to be able to like, you know, be involved in like the Denver music scene as like a participant, but then also more of like someone who's helping to build community and like trying to make opportunities for like bands that we meet and like want to help out, and then also be able to kind of like, get that same support from people.
Yeah, to like see your role and like our perspective roles in the scene change over time has been so cool to me. Like there was a period of time where I was like bitter about going to shows almost. Like years ago where it was like, oh, I want to be in a band, I need to be doing this. And then like, I don't remember what show it was this year, last year. I was like, it just like struck me. I was like, I do this now. Like, this is so cool. And like, like that made me think of what you were saying, made me think of that, to see that shift over time.
Yeah. Slippery slope of comparison.
Yes.
Yeah. Difficult sometimes, but yeah, definitely. Okay. One of our last questions. What are you most excited about for Standing Start in the future?
Definitely excited to keep doing more shows. I think the more we do it, the more fun it will be.
You want to tell the good people when our next show is?
Oh yeah, we have a show coming up on first Friday in November 3rd at Denver Art Society.
Oh, Denver Art Society, very cool. I've seen a bunch of their stuff recently. It looks so fun.
Yeah, they're great. The sound guy is our best friend.
I love Sonny.
Yeah, I love Sonny. Yeah, we're very excited. It's such a great space.
Awesome. What time are you performing?
We are headlining the
Very
first Friday.
Congratulations.
So I think it'll be like around 9 o'clock or something like that. We played a third Friday there in June, and that was a really good experience for us. I think that was like the first time, was that the first time we played through like a proper or maybe
like a full set?
Yeah. So that was really cool. So we're stoked to be doing that.
Awesome. That's so exciting.
And that it's going to be free as well.
Yeah.
Is it really?
So,
Wow.
Yeah.
Everyone should come out.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
And Denver Art Society is really great in like supporting like musicians who like don't have as much like experience maybe playing like larger venue shows. Like they're really really great. We've recommended like a bunch of friends who are like just trying to kind of start out to try to get in there.
That's awesome. Very cool.
Yeah, I think we're also very excited about recording more. I know we're kind of like focused on just getting it out the door, but I think like thinking about what singles we might record next, or thinking about if like what an EP might look like. We've been talking about that a little more recently. And so yeah, that's also I think in the maybe longer term future, but on the horizon.
A couple of things that I'm excited for outside of that, like playing a show outside of Denver, whether it's like a show in Poco or in Boulder, or maybe something even outside the state eventually. I think that really, really intrigues me. Don't want to put the cart in front of the horse. I think we're not like we have to get more shows here first.
Yeah.
But another thing that I'm excited about is like one thing that I want to do in a band and in our band is like kind of make things happen. Like whether like we're putting on our own show in the park for XYZ, or like being more of like a force in the scene and like putting things together with some of the really cool bands that we've met. I think I'm excited for us to kind of step into more of that role.
Very cool. Awesome.
Yeah, all of that. I mean, what's not to be excited about? I really enjoy like making new material, and working on stuff together. Yeah. Getting to come up with the new drum part, like experimenting with how the song fits together. That kind of like that like first kind of like blue sky phase. There's kind of like the part after that kind of sucks, where it's like we got to like decide like how it's actually gonna be.
Or, like this doesn't sound how it sounded last week.
That's so real.
But that the part where like the riff first gets introduced, or like the chorus or whatever, and like you're first kind of like noodling on it, and maybe it's because the bar's kind of low, it's like you're not expecting it to sound that good, and therefore like anything that kind of works is like sweet. But I really like that part, and I'm looking forward to doing that more in the next few months. We've been like very show focused over the summer.
It's been a busy summer.
Yeah, we had a few gigs and wanted to be like feel really comfortable for those, but I'm excited to kind of like take that comfort that we have playing together now back to working on new material and see how that kind of like hones our ability to like create stuff together.
Awesome. Very cool. Lastly, can you tell everyone where to find you on your social media?
Oh yeah. You can find us at standingstart.band. Their Standing Start is a sports reference, we've learned. In like running, it seems, in track and field. So .band helps you find us, not track and field content.
Specifically on Instagram.
That's on Instagram. And then, we're also on SoundCloud and Bandcamp and Spotify at just Standing Start. And we have some other stuff linked on our Instagram, like our email. We're pretty responsive to like DMs and stuff.
Super responsive.
If anyone wants to get in touch, we'll definitely respond.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for coming on the podcast today.
It was super fun.
Thanks so much for having us. It's been a blast.
Thanks. Well, this has been our most recent episode of the Denver Links Radio Podcast. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode.